We're here on top of Mount Soledad in the San Diego area. I have Lou Scanlon, who's a past president of the Memorial Association that takes care of this property and keeps it looking as beautiful and pristine as it does, and also making sure that it endures for generations to come. Hi, Lou.
Hi, how are you? Glad to have you here.
I'm good. You come up here every now and then and just look, I have a feeling, at the whole thing in the setting. What goes through your mind when you see the Mount Soledad Memorial?
Well, it's really interesting. As we tell people, all gave some gave all. And it's really interesting to come up here and to see these plaques and look at the stories. You know, every veteran has a story, and look, many of them are told right here.
And most people, when they come up here, the thing they noticed most is the large cross at the center, because it's visible for many miles every direction from here. But once you come up here, then you start seeing these names and faces and stories of the veterans who served this country and who are remembered here. And I've watched today as people have come up here and just stopped and looked and read a few names and caught their eye.
You bet. You know, the cross is an iconic part of this memorial, and people come up here, it's kind of a landmark, and once they come up here and start looking at the beauty that surrounds this particular memorial and take it all in, they start to wander. And it's interesting to see. We have an educational program, for example, for children. And they hear about things in textbooks or watch them in movies and stuff, and they come up here and they actually see a plaque of somebody that they read about, and they're fascinated. Kids, I think, are much more so than my generation, are visual learners these days.
And that's something that sets this memorial apart, are the images of all these veterans all the way around. And they're looking out through time at us. And essentially what I'm, in a sense, hearing their voices say is just remember us, just recall what we did.
You bet. You know, to our knowledge, it's the only memorial that we're aware of that actually has a photograph of the veteran. And it's really, really interesting. I mentioned to somebody, when I first came up here, I thought it was a memorial dedicated to those who were deceased. And come to find out that in order to have a plaque, you just have to be honorably discharged from the military.
Yeah.
And one of the more poignant things to me is every once in a while I'll see a family come up here with a dad, a mom, a grandfather, or a grandmother who served.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to that individual, the family has purchased a plaque.
Oh.
And they'll bring the individual up and say, hey dad, hey mom, take a look at this plaque we got you. And it literally is like that scene from Saving Private Ryan where they walk him up to the cemetery and show him some of his friends. Literally will bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah. These represent Vietnam War, World War II, World War I. I saw Indian Wars over here, guy on horseback, all the way back to the Revolutionary War. It is truly a memorial across all the states and across the entire life of this country of ours.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the things you may have noticed is they're not arranged by rank or anything else, because when it was designed, it was our opinion that everybody here gave a part of their life to serve this country.
Tell me the significance of this. Just put it into words for me to help people understand why it's important to have places around the country where people can stop and reflect, such as Mount Soledad.
You know, I think it's really important. There's some famous quotes about people who forget history are doomed to repeat it. And I think it's very, very interesting for kids, particularly our young folks, to understand that the freedoms that we enjoy were purchased at great sacrifice by many of the people who are memorialized up here on the wall.
Well, Lou, thank you for being one of the people who watched over this piece of property. It's such a beautiful spot, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, and thank you for all of your support in maintaining and making sure that we didn't lose this iconic memorial.